can you share Mabrook's core mission and how it aligns with Islamic principles?
The core vision is essentially doing transactions in the most ethical way possible. The point is that even for things like, and I'm going to take an example of real estate as an example. If you look at the real estate investment world and the industry in general, it is typically based on how do you conceal information from people to get the most benefit. And I'll give you an example of this. If a real estate developer wants to put up a big development in an area in the Toronto area, you will have two parties, stakeholders, that will typically oppose densification. The first will be the neighborhood. So the strategy always is, how do you withhold information from the neighbors so you don't give them the information so that there's the least amount of resistance? And then how do you withhold information from the city officials or try to cheat the system or beat the system so you can get the best possible return, even if it's not in the best interest of the community or the general public, because you want to get the most out of your land and it is your right to make the most amount of profit. That is how real estate functions. You will see this in movies. Sometimes you will see that the real estate developer is shown as this big evil guy and people protesting and all of that, because that is how the industry functions. The construction industry functions on how do I withhold money from the suppliers as long as possible and pay them at the last minute so my cash flow and my internal rate of return is the highest. Sometimes people don't even pay their suppliers. They fight them in court. It's a very mean-spirited industry. So we chose our first project to be a real estate project, Barton Street. And the intention with this is, how do you conduct a transaction where you don't have to fight anybody? So as an example, in this project, we had a public meeting for a minor variance last year in December. We did not hide any facts. We put up exactly what it was, explained what we were going to do. There was a few concerns raised from the public about parking, because we had 2 parking spaces, or we had slightly more units and whatnot. But the city itself has actually eliminated some parking restrictions and whatnot. So we didn't hide the fact. We made the case very clear that, look, the city has come up with a parking standards review. It has come to the attention that parking is not being utilized in this particular area for this kind of unit typology that we are targeting. Therefore, the amount of parking that we have provided more than meets the needs of not just the community, but also the people that would be occupying the building. We did not try to downplay the fact. And actually, after the variance was approved, we actually reduced the unit count on our own for a number of reasons. But one of them was also to mitigate that concern on our own. Nobody asked us to do that. We could have gone ahead and even done that, but it was the right thing to do. Also, we did some other things which are technical in nature, which then allowed us to move with the project more expeditiously. There were height concerns with shadows and whatnot. We can actually make this building 5 stories, right? And it'll have an impact on the community. We have approvals to do that, but we are choosing to keep it a certain height and a certain density, which is appropriate for the community. We're not hiding anything. We're not trying to trick anybody. And inshallah, we will still get decent returns. Sure, it is possible. Certainly it is possible that on a project like Barton, somebody else might be able to get higher returns. I do not disagree with that. I would say, yes, there is a possibility of getting slightly better returns, but they will come at a detriment. They will come at a detriment to the community. They will come at a detriment of us doing transactions which will not be fully truthful. We may get away with it, but Allah is watching us. So when you ask me the question about, this question about Mabrook, I'm using this project as an example to answer that question. That the reason the project is being designed in the way that it is being designed is to give our investors a decent return, which is comparable to a development of this size. It may not be the highest, and we don't claim to be the highest, but our returns are going to be ethical and inshallah will have the element of barakah. If there is barakah, $100 can be worth 1,000 because Allah chooses to put barakah, and that $100 will not finish or finish, but it will get you further than you need to be. It's not just money that has barakah. Everything has barakah. Time has barakah. Relationships have barakah. It's so important. Just think about barakah in relationships. If you have barakah in your relationship with the city, as an example, they will help you because Allah will put in their heart for them to help you. So, it's things like that. So that is the goal. We want to see Allah's rahmah and barakah in what we do. So we want to do things in a way that please Allah. And that is, I think, the highest vision that I would say that Mabrook has.